Everyone, my name is Dr. Joel Rosen. I want to welcome you back to another edition of Metabolic Flexibility. This is going to be a quick video, and it's really going to sum up what we mean about being metabolically flexible. So I wanted to talk to you about the role of protein and fat and as it relates to insulin. So fat really should be the other fuel, and it should be not the other fuel, it should be a fuel that we use a lot. We don't have to use it all the time. So I don't tell my patients and the people I work with, hey, you got to become ketogenic. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is we don't want you to be a snob, a glucose snob, meaning you're only using glucose as your fuel source. Your insulin levels are so high and we can't tap into fat and as a fuel source. That's really what we're saying. So let's talk about that. So when we have a prolonged fast, starvation mode, which how many of us have this in today's day and age? No one. Not to mention all the other things that cause insulins to spike, which is a whole other lesson. But anyways, when you have a prolonged fast, we know we deplete our glycogen stores, which is in the liver. And we know we need to do gluconeogenesis, which is breaking down of protein. It'd be great if we can use the muscles as an energy fuel supply to glucose to different areas of the body, but we can't because of glucose 6-phosphate enzyme does not exist in muscles, so that we can't get that into the bloodstream and utilize. But we can use in an anaerobic capacity really quick bursts so that we can survive and continue our survival, and that's been very good for us. However, here's the thing. When someone takes insulin, let's say they take insulin, and they're not starving, and they're pouring a lot of hepatic glucose into the bloodstream, and they're getting rid of a lot of glucose. Eventually what happens is the brakes are put down on being able to put down protein. That's the problem. You can't break down protein when insulin levels are high. So what happens is you're not metabolically flexible. Insulin levels are high, it's not allowing you to break down protein. But guess what? It's not allowing you to break down fat, lipolysis. It's not allowing you to do ketogenesis. You can't break down those fuels if your insulin levels are high. And so let's just throw out insulin for a second. And let's just say, hey, why don't we become metabolically flexible on our own so that we can burn fat, we can burn glucose, we can do one or the other. We don't really want to burn protein because if we're burning protein, it means that we don't have enough ketones as a fuel source. And our brain requires glucose. Now we can use beta oxidation as a fuel source for the brain, but we can't for the red blood cell. So ultimately we do need some glucose, and if you're eating a low ketogenic diet or high ketogenic diet or low carb diet or you're metabolically flexible, you'll have the ability to do both. And guess what the beautiful thing about that is? Now all of a sudden you're handling stress better, you can focus, you can concentrate, you're losing weight, you feel like you have more energy. Oh my goodness, you feel like you have more energy. You haven't fixed the problem because you haven't done this yet. What's going on? Pay attention to the next video and we'll tell you all about it.